Oregon OSHA and the federal government are cleaning up, but they want to get in the shower with you. Joe Biden performs magic on the White House lawn, and we take a dip into Oregon's CrazyTown with some fear-mongering. You got Alex Elkin with the WAYTA moment. Well, hi, everybody. Comedian Alex Elkin here with the WAYTA moment. And as you probably know, I'm a resident of the beautiful Pacific Northwest. No, that was not a mistake. Yes, it rains here. As a matter of fact, I believe summer is scheduled for 2021, July 18th through the 21st, and the rest of the time, 100% precipitation. There is some humor to it. People that live up here understand that it's going to get wet. Most people don't even own umbrellas because we just deal with it. However, while we do handle ourselves outside in the rain, probably better than most, we're not crazy about it. At least they would have you believe that until now. COVID-19 has turned this state completely upside down. It is now CrazyTown U.S.A. I'm talking, they are hitting us at every angle. Not only are billboards and outside reminders telling us we need to socially distance, wear 6 masks in our car, or whatever it is, they're hitting us up on television through commercials and propaganda. And what it's doing is instilling absolute fear and anxiety into its citizens. I'm not wrong here, and I would like to show you an example. This is a commercial that the state of Oregon is pushing out throughout all of its stations and trying to promulgate the idea of outdoor gatherings while social distancing and wearing a mask. Look, I'm not opposed to that. What I am opposed to is their idea of what they think is comedy, what they think is funny. And I know you're going to come at me and go, well, Alex Elkin, you just don't know what comedy is. Apparently you're not a very good comedian because you don't know if it's funny or not. Look, I'm not saying I'm the best comedian in the world, but I do know what's funny and what's not. And the difference between this being funny and not is a fine line that just borders CrazyTown. Let's play that video. Play that video, and I want you to see Oregon's decline into Nutsville with this commercial. I'm going to point out a few things after you see it, but I want to see what you point out and notice after watching it.
Thank you, Oregon, for keeping social visits outside, despite the inconvenience.
Okay, here's a couple of things that immediately struck out at me. You are talking about being healthy. You want people to socially distance because of health. Yet these women are sitting out in 6-inch deep water up to their ankles. Pardon me, but that is pneumonia waiting to happen, girls. Get your asses dry and get them inside. You don't need a WAP that wet. Secondly, the music, tell me this Tim Burton-esque Danny Elfman soundtrack is not creeping you out just a bit. La, 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 la. If you heard a little girl singing that at 9 p.m. outside your window while playing hopscotch, you'd be loading your gun right now. Tell me I'm wrong. Where's the lie? They're sitting outdoors. It's Oregon. It rains. Good one. But this is ridiculous. There's plates. She's holding a plate. She's holding food, meaning she is eating directly while that is getting all rained on and gross. Another woman is holding a cup of tea while her eyelashes hang off of her cheek, yet she's acting like there's absolutely nothing wrong with any of this. Combine that with the music. Combine it with this. Everything's ruined. The cake is ruined. The party is completely soaked and ruined, and everybody is going on as if nothing is wrong. And then, this is just my observation as an Oregonian who doesn't exactly speak the vocabulary. Number one, problematic that they are welcoming this baby boy when this baby boy hasn't decided its gender yet. Secondly, did you see the clothes that were for this baby boy? Those look like pink nightgowns for little girls. So either they're planning on gender confusing this child, or they're promulgating the idea on this poor kid who hasn't decided yet what bathroom they want to use and identify with. So there's all kinds of problematic things that raise red flags, as the people on the left would like to tell us. And I just want to know, where's the comedy? Because here's my theory as a comedian. A joke, it can have truth in it. In fact, it should, to make it the best. It's going to take you down a path, and it's eventually going to abruptly stop and hit you with that 180. That's called the punchline, okay? And the real art of the comedian is to be able to form a burrow, a stream of thought that an audience can then literally jump into, float along with you until you abruptly end it with either the waterfall or a brick wall or something that turns it around on them that they didn't expect. That's what makes things funny. Why this is not funny to me is because they're being completely serious. At the end of that, you saw, thanks for socially distancing Oregon. Not, we know that this is an extreme version, but no, they were being completely serious with their punchline or the end line, tagging it, saying, thanks for socially distancing, you're doing your part. Doing our part by living outside in the absolute cold and wet, getting the chance or risk of getting some known disease that they don't have. They don't have a vaccine for pneumonia. You work that shit out, or you don't. Yet they're pushing and promulgating health by having people sitting out in the cold rain and not acknowledging the craziness that's literally pouring down on them. And then they back it with a soundtrack that sounds like a friggin' Freddy movie. I'm sorry, kids. This is CrazyTown U.S.A. And what it's doing is instilling anxiety into people. It's causing them to be fearful of everything. They don't even want to go outside. They can't share spaces with other people. As a matter of fact, here's a video that I'm going to show you now of this is the end result of this function. If you have a function, if you're math people, follow me along on this one. You've got a function of fear, right? And the media and the government and big pharma and our experts are putting in the information. It's going through the function, right? And then what's coming out is anxiety and fear and mistrust and wariness, and people are afraid of other people, right? And here's a perfect example. Let's roll this next video, roll this next one, and we'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. This is Alex Elkin with the WAYTA Moment.
My girl here wants me to come out of the elevator so she can come out of the elevator.
Because it's a small space, we're supposed to maintain social distancing. I don't understand why you can't just politely step out to allow me out of the elevator when I asked you nicely while you have been wearing your mask.
You didn't ask me nicely. You said get the fuck out the elevator.
I said that after you refused to get out. You have a giant ball.
Oh, shit. My girl.
No, look at you.
But my girl, hold on. My girl, you want to stand in the elevator with me and catch it? Like, you're not making sense, honey. You might as well get off at your floor.
I'm trying to get off at my floor. I can't come close to you. Do you not understand that I have an extremely compromised immune system? You are a delivery person incorrectly wearing the mask inside of a big building.
Is this incorrectly worn, guys? Is this incorrectly worn?
It wasn't like that the whole fucking time.
So, this poor young lady has been fed a steady diet of absolute abject fear for what, 16 months now? To the point where she can't even share an elevator with another human being without completely losing her mind. Now, you tell me what's more crazy, right? These ladies sitting in buckets of water pretending like nothing's going on while they just celebrate the birth of some gender specified cluster of cells? Or is it the result of watching that kind of promulgation and propaganda that leads to young ladies like this freaking out when somebody enters their bubble? What's more crazy? Because I would contend that really they're on a level playing field. It's crazy to think that people are just going to go outside, ruin every situation that they could gather with people, and just give up on social aspects of humanity. You're already masked. You're already distanced. You've washed your hands. Are you sitting there in CrazyTown to prove a point? No, what you're doing is showing everybody else, be afraid, be scared, and that's the way to live your life. Well, Oregon, I'm done. I'm not being afraid. I'm not being scared. And I'm not living my life that way. And I hope that you don't either, because I don't want to share an elevator with somebody like you. You got Alex Elkin, the WAYTA Moment. Oregon OSHA, and federal OSHA for that matter, has been a sticky finger in a lot of businesses' pies for a long time. And now it seems like they're delving into our personal lives when we're at home. If you look at this new mask mandates legislation, it states very clearly what business owners, employers, and managers are able to mandate when it comes to us being in the workplace. But then it gets a little more personal and tells us where we're permitted not to wear our mask. This is the problem that I have. Take a look here at some of the interesting places where we don't have to wear our mask. Driving around in our cars. Take a look here. You don't have to wear one while you're eating or drinking. And don't worry, no mask is necessary while you're sleeping, unless, of course, you have a CPAP. And in the shower. No, that's all right. You don't have to wear a mask in the shower. And this is what really kind of pisses me off. You have no business telling me what, where, or how I conduct myself in the business of cleaning my own body. If I'm not affecting anyone else around me, it is none of your concern. How dare you even bring up the idea that you can tell me where I can and can't wear a mask in the freedom of my own country, let alone my own bathroom? Where is the outrage? Where's the trans community that's coming out in defense of our bathrooms? They were here 2 years ago fighting about it like it was a single-bedroom studio in Manhattan. Now we're allowing the federal government to give us permission to take showers without masks. For those of you that haven't gathered already, we all know why the federal government has made it very clear that we need to wear masks, and why OSHA has made it clear that we need to wear masks everywhere, because of science and safety, and that's all they care about. It couldn't be money. Until we get into the third aspect here, this is from CNN, and it seems that not only is OSHA and the federal government, with all their legislators and lawmakers, behind the idea of mask mandates in America. Look who else is behind it. You already figured it out. That's right, folks. Mask manufacturers. Who endorses mask mandates throughout the United States? Why, the people that make them and sell them, of course. But they're only here for our safety. They certainly wouldn't be concerned about the almighty dollar or making a quick buck on the fear of America. It's been a year, folks. This is data from Johns Hopkins Medical School, which is, I don't know, some sort of Sears College, ITT Tech of medicine, but take it for what it's worth. And if we take a look at the spikes in surges in states throughout our country, do you notice a pattern? Do you notice that there's always just a big hump in and around January 1st that spikes back up and then starts to come back down again? No matter where you go, and whether or not the state closed down or whether or not the state was open, we still see that little bump, spike, and the decrescendo. Folks, we're being played. Whether or not places shut down, whether or not they mandated masks, whether or not they told you that you could go out and get a haircut, or said that you couldn't but went and got one anyway, we've been duped. We've been snookered. But we have to get on with our lives, and we certainly can't fight a pandemic with an economy. Now, Joe Biden has played some pretty amazing tricks in his 47 plus year career in politics. First of all, getting elected. Secondly, tricking 80 million people into thinking that he's not in cognitive decline. Look, I'm not making a lot of Joe Biden jokes because really I don't think it's funny. It's sad to see somebody deal with Alzheimer's like that. And it's really a shame on Jill Biden, Dr. Jill Biden, to allow him to continue this way, because this man is non-compos mentis, and mark my words, they'll be pulling the 25th Amendment out pretty soon. What's really scary to me is the way that the media and everybody else is, of course, protecting him. We've got a Woodrow Wilson situation on our hand. If you don't recall Woodrow Wilson, he was our president in the roaring, he led us into the roaring 20s, in the early teens of America's history. And Woodrow Wilson suffered a terrible stroke in the last, I believe, couple of years of his presidency. And so his wife was the mediator, running documents to and from, actually signing things for him, making decisions. So really, Mrs. Wilson was running this country for a lot of years because they didn't want to admit that their president was weak. Well, going around the world and bowing down to world leaders, kowtowing to China, making excuses for your son who's a drug-addled criminal, you've pretty much shown your hands there on weakness. So what they're doing now is trying to hide in all accounts any kind of weakness of Joe Biden. But then it gets really blatant. You've probably already seen this, but come on. This is a crazy video. And why? This is the question I just have. Why?
Travel to the southern border, sir? Not at the moment. Have you decided when you're able to share thoughts with other countries? Is it allies or neighbors first? Who will be the first country to get U.S. vaccines? I've been talking with several countries already. Well, I'll let you know that very shortly.
Now, looking at that, you can see how the microphone shifts positions. It goes from the background behind his hand to the foreground in a matter of seconds. And it's got that fuzziness that, well, that you get when you work with a green screen. Is that right to you? I don't know. I don't know what kind of tricks they're pulling. I don't know if it was just an accidental thing. I'm just asking why. And if anybody has an answer, please let me know. Thank you for your support of the WAYTA Moment with Alex Elkin. You can always send out some love via Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App. I even take Zelle. Hell, send me a check in the mail if you want to support what we're doing, because conservative comedy is getting the duct tape treatment over the mouth. And it needs to be promulgated, I think. There needs to be a dissenting voice. And right now, every late night talk show host and every A-lister is all singing the same song. Support shows like this where we don't all say the same thing and we just ask, wait a moment.